Hey guys, welcome back to Follow Me 11B. Discussions on current events, macroeconomics, and freedom and liberty from a veteran's perspective. Today on this, the 50th Follow Me 11B video, I wanted to discuss today's release of the June CPI for 2022 and the skyrocketing CPI number of 9.1%. I also wanted to do something a little bit special after today's video. Got some special announcements. So sit tight, buckle up, because this is going to be a rocky video and a rocky CPI that we're going to discuss. So let's start off with diving into a Bloomberg.com article I came across. And it is entitled, Your Evening Briefing, Full Point Rate Hike in Play as Inflation Rises. It's by David Ravella. It's from today, July 13th, 2022. U.S. inflation hit a 4-decade high last month, likely strengthening the Federal Reserve's resolve to aggressively raise interest rates. The Consumer Price Index rose 9.1% from a year earlier. The widely followed inflation gauge increased 1.3% from a month earlier. Quote, rather than cooling down, inflation is heating up, said Sal Gutierrez, senior economist at BMO Capital Markets, said in a note. And while pullback in gasoline costs in July and reported retail discounting will help tamp down the flames, the broad pressure in the core rate, led by plenty of inertia in rents, suggests that inflation may not peak for a while, according to Sal, that is. One Fed official conceded on Wednesday that the central bank may even consider a 1 percentage point rate hike when officials meet this month. It would be the largest increase since the Fed started directly using overnight interest rates to conduct monetary policy in the early 1990s. According to the Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic, quote, everything is in play. So moving over to the actual CPI from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, the CPI-U, increased 1.3% in June on a seasonally adjusted basis after rising 1.0% in May. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today, over the last 12 months, all items index increased 9.1% before seasonal adjustment. So let's go through a few of these bullet by bullet here. So according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, all items, 9.1% increase year over year, and 1.3% increase month over month. So from May to June, 1.3% increase. All right, let's start with food. Food increase, 10.4% increase year over year. Energy, 41.6%. 41.6% unadjusted 12-month ended June 2022 year over year. All right, let's get to gasoline, everybody's favorite. All types up. Let's even do this one from month to month, month over month. So for June, month over month, an increase of 11.2%. All types gasoline, and year over year. Sit down for this one. 59.9% year over year gasoline increase year over year. Wow. Fuel oil, 98.5% increase. Maybe I should have had you sit down for that one. Let's see here. Energy services as a basket, 19.4% increase year over year. Here we go. This is one of my favorite things they do on the CPI. All items less food and energy. I believe they call this the core, which discounts, it's just everything except energy and food. Like the most important things that human beings need to survive and live their daily lives, conduct business. But all items less food and energy, year over year, 5.9% increase, which I believe is actually, they were anticipating like a 5.7% increase, and that's even higher than they originally expected. Let's get down to the used cars and trucks, up 7.1% year over year. New vehicles up 11.4%. See here, services, less energy services, 5.5% up. Shelter up 5.6% year over year. Medical care services up 4.8%. The services are kind of a different animal too. We've got a 9.1% year over year CPI. However, and that's all items. But services are different than a lot of these items, these commodities, in my opinion, because the services are largely, they're not things, they're things that are done by people. For example, medical personnel, they've had to endure a lot of price increases for various commodities and everyday items. How has that been somewhat smoothed over, shall we say, by their employers to keep them? They had to pay them more money. Well, that basically amounts to medical care services increased by 4.8%. They had to pay staff more money. It's not that, a catheter bag suddenly cost 4.8% more, although I'm sure that's going to eventually trickle in as well. However, once the services start increasing due to staff being paid more, you're not going to take that money back from the staff that you started paying more to. You're not going to more than likely reduce the amount that you're hiring people at. You used to hire at this rate. You eventually had to hire at this rate just to get people in the front door to work at your company, in your hospital, in your clinic, etc. You're probably, in all probability, not going to drop it back to this level in a year or 2 or 5. You're probably going to keep it at that increased level or maybe even higher. So that just tells me that service-related inflation, or price increases, I should say, are here to stay, in my opinion, and maybe even get worse. But my guess, just based on, and I have one piece of good news about this CPI. The one piece of good news is fuel oil. June 2022, month over month, fuel oil down 1.2%. That's the only decrease I have detected in these numbers. The only one. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about what I'm thinking about this then. My guess, just based on the momentum of this inflation juggernaut, is that inflation has not yet peaked. I don't think that. I think that evidence is there to support that this is going to go up for another month or two. Yes, gasoline prices have somewhat dropped down a little bit, maybe 25, 30 cents in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But based on the amount that they've gone up before they slightly dropped, I still think we've got a long way to go. Further, I think things are going to get way worse before they stabilize. As a matter of fact, I'm not even prepared to say they're going to get way worse before they get better. I'm saying they're going to get way worse before they stabilize. Why do I say that? When you've got a 9+% CPI, you're going to have to do a lot better than a 2 or a 3 or even a 4% interest rate to legitimately fight the inflation monster. And the economy is likely going to be in recession or possibly even depression at that point, or maybe even right now, the start of one. the start of a depression or a recession, or recession or depression, I should say. Now, what does that mean? That means, in my opinion, evidence is going to point to stocks crashing, retirements lost in the stock market in their 401ks, people postponing retirement that were expecting to retire that year, the next year, in a couple of years. They no longer have the retirement savings to do that. 9.1% as of right now. In my opinion, 9.1% inflation is going to result in job losses. It's going to result in massive layoffs. It's going to result in companies going belly up, which means more unemployment and et cetera, et cetera. A lot of domino effect will happen there. But yeah, like I said, I believe things are going to get way worse before they get stabilized. And once they get stabilized, maybe we can start looking at things getting better. But I don't think that's going to happen this year, personally. I mean, and if it does, we're looking at fourth quarter at the earliest. But at this point, it's hard to say. Who really knows? But my best guess is fourth quarter or beyond. And I'm kind of leaning towards beyond. But I want to wrap up this video, this 50th video on the Follow Me 11B channel. And I wanted to let you know I wanted to do something special on this video. I've got a couple special things I want to announce. The first one is I am going to announce a personal challenge, another personal challenge. I did one a while back. I'm going to do another one right here, right now. This personal challenge on this, the 50th video, I'm going to produce the next 25, taking us to video number 75 in the next 30 days. So depending on when this video gets distributed out onto YouTube, etc., depending on how long it takes to process and upload, we're talking August 12th or early morning on August 13th. I expect, and I'm shooting for video 75 to be coming out that day or sooner. So that's pretty much all for now. I just have one more last announcement. We are growing. We are at The Real Follow Me 11B on Instagram, The Real Follow Me 11B on Rumble. We are also at Follow Me 11B on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Follow Me 11B is now on Gettr. So we are growing our social media presence. Please press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and add a comment or two. We love to hear from you. And anything you want to hear about in an upcoming video, we would be happy to try to accommodate you. I can never get this thing right. So we will see you all in the next video, and thank you for tuning in to our 50th video.